Hey, Calvary family, I hope you're doing well today. Thanks for checking in with us. Ian had asked me to share a little bit of a devotion this morning. And so this year, when I have time, amidst some of the other things, I'm going through this devotional book by Alan Fadling, A Year of Slowing Down, Daily Devotions for Unhurried Living. And this has been something for me that I've been trying to work on for the last several years. I tend to be one who moves a little bit too quickly and feel hurried in my pace. And so I've been trying to just take small steps to slow down. So he released this book, and so trying not to rush through it, but trying to take my time and when time allows to spend some time. And so a devotion that was in there that I thought was just really timely and really was good for me, I thought I'd share with us this morning. It's entitled, Welcome into God's Presence. And there's a verse I'm going to read, and then I'll just kind of talk through it a little bit. The verse is this. It's from Psalm 5:7. It says this, I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house. I will bow down towards your holy temple in awe of you. And this is David writing a psalm to God. And it's interesting as he talks about the devotion, in the devotion, it talks about how we approach God and how we enter into his presence. And whether that's through entering into his presence from the standpoint of a corporate worship setting, or whether that is entering into his presence in our personal and private prayer time. What's our posture in that? And one of the things he points out is usually what we judge for ourselves as whether we're able to enter into his presence. What that is we'll enter in based on our worthiness. Am I worthy to enter into his presence? And sometimes our feeling of unworthiness or that we haven't measured up will keep us away. It'll keep us away from personal time with God. It'll keep us away from engaging and coming to church because we're just not worthy to be in his presence. And what Alan points out here that David, the author of this psalm, is pointing out is it has nothing to do with our worthiness, but has everything to do with God's love. Has everything to do with God's love. And that's how we enter into his presence, into his holy temple, is because of his love. Nothing that we have done, but everything that he has done. And he points out, it's not only, when David pens this, he's not only talking about just love. Love amongst itself would be great. But he adds two adjectives or two adverbs there to describe that. And what it is his abundance of love and his steadfastness. And for us, man, do we ever need to hear that? That's not only his love, but it's the abundance of love. It's overflowing love and a steadfast love. And at times when we go through our days and there are ups and downs that come with life, a steadfast love from the Father is what we need. And when we know that we can rely on that, and that's what allows us to enter into his presence, it has nothing to do with us and what we do and our worthiness, but all about that abundant and steadfast love. Then we can enter in. And so he finishes with a couple questions here that I thought were good and that I would leave with you today. These questions. First, are there ever times that you feel like you might be a little too casual or formal when you approach God? And this was an interesting question because I think there is a point where some older generations than myself, they have a very formal and very awe-filled view when it comes to God. And you can hear that in their prayers, how mighty, how powerful. And there's an awe that comes from previous generations of followers of Jesus. Where my generation and some that are younger than me, we view God more as, hey, he's a good friend. It's a very casual relationship. So for me, I know when I read this, the answer to that question is there's a lot of times that I come to God a little bit too casual. And I forget the awe of entering into his presence and who he is. But the same is true. So that's the first question. Are you too casual, too formal? And how can we come and enter into his presence? Whether it's on a Sunday morning when we gather here or personally daily. How do we recognize his love over our worthiness and allowing that to enter into his rest as we slow down each day and enjoy time with him? I hope you have a great day today, and I hope this is helpful and encouraging as you move throughout the rest of your day today. Thanks for joining us.